Shalom.
Shalom.
First thing and foremost, we give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Hashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahushai,
Ba'ashem,
Hashem,
Rakakwadash.
Kakwadash.
I'd like to give double honors to the elders, the apostles, the great millstone. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Those in this gospel, brothers, not the standard of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. We the brothers out GMS, Kansas City, man. Just a quick little exhortation, nothing too long, man, through the Spirit. Basically titled Discretion Without Discretion Leads to Judgment, okay? Because with discretion, man, you're taking into account of particular actions and mindsets you may have or you may cater to in order to give you to a certain point. Like prime example, me and a brother were just fellowshipping on the indiscretion of our people and the people that's walking without wisdom, how at a lot of time it will bring them into a particular detrimental situation because the scriptures goes into those that walk without wisdom, roughly paraphrasing it, will basically be judged, man. So with that being said, you may feel that a particular mindset suitifies you or it suits your way of life or it encapsulates your emotion, but overall is that according to the scriptures.
Right.
Because the thing of it is, if I may feel that I'm doing something that may appeases my flesh or that may be right to my mental, but is it solidified in the scriptures, man? Because you have to be very careful on certain mindsets and idioms that you may have when you walking among this faith, man. Okay.
I got a book of Psalm 112 and 5. It says, "A good man showeth favor and lendeth. He will guide his affairs with discretion."
That's right, man. With discretion, because with discretion comes carefulness, man. Okay, like the scriptures say, before anything, seek wise counsel. Because when you're doing that, you're looking at the both good and the bad of a situation and knowing if this is the best possible outcome for what you may engage in. Prime example, like we was kind of getting into women, etc. How women walk without wisdom and knowledge and understanding, and they go off emotion, they go off their flesh, they go off their mindset. But overall, just because they go off those particular things that appeases their flesh doesn't make it right. Okay, because you may have a certain career or you may have a certain dialect or you may engage in a certain activity, okay, and it may appear to be innocent, but overall, what is the outcome of your actions?
Right.
What are you opening up or what are you setting the example for a latter time? Because even if you work in, let's say if you was a stripper, right, and you had a husband that wasn't really vibing with that, you may work at the strip club for 3 years and never even give a man your number. But the fact that you're not using discretion because you're in that particular field and you're open to those attacks. So you're already being indoctrinated by what surrounds you. So when push comes to shove, a situation or a particular dynamic that isn't suitable for you, you already have an alternative mindset or a lifestyle you can engage in case the one you was previously within doesn't work. Okay, like think about it. Watching the Players Club, Diamond, right? She didn't want to work at the club at all. Okay, she didn't want to do it, but she did it to pay for college. Now she used it for a good reason, but overall she said she survived 3 years without getting caught up with any of the bullshit the club had to offer. But after a while, it got her broken up with her boyfriend because she had a cousin that came in there and he started popping the cousin. But she put herself in harm's way because she was able to meet a whole DJ that worked at the club. Now, what we're getting at is the fact that if she never worked there in the first place, her relationship would never fail. Because the guy said, look, I'm tired of you fucking stripping at that club. All my homeboys can come and see you, X, Y, and Z. And her only rebuttal to that was, well, I don't give a damn about your homeboys. Okay, but even then, you still moved on with another man because you put yourself in that environment because you didn't use discretion. Okay?
I got the etymology for discretion. It says ability to perceive and understand. See, and understanding is a heavy concept because that deals with consequences. Do you understand all the details behind everything you do? Right? You could see a tree, but do you understand the nature of it? That it has roots, that it grows a certain way, the causes and effects behind how you treat it, and that's how you're supposed to move when you in righteousness. How brothers move when you conduct your affairs.
Right.
But these people of this world, they're moving without discretion, so that in the very things they do, they don't understand the judgments that's going to come upon them.
Right.
And anything they do, they don't understand what's to come on this earth. That's a part of the reason why you can say brothers have discretion, because we have foresight to what's about to happen.
Right.
That's why we getting our act right now. We trying our best to please Yahweh Bashim Havashai. So in that we can escape what's about to come.
Mm-hmm.
Because you people, this is what the scriptures say. I forget exactly how it goes, but it said like one without discretion, they move without fear and they judge. Like the simple pass on and are judged. You know, that's exactly the mindset of these people.
Yep, and that's a beautiful point, because with discretion, you're taking into account everything around you, okay? Because you're thinking for a collective, okay? Like, you can't be individualism. You can't be an individual when you're thinking for a collective, like a family business, all right? If you start a business, you have to think of every particular aspect on what can make this business fail and what can make it succeed. Now, you may have a particular contract that can make you $1 million, but what will be the end result of that particular contract? Could it be a detriment into your survival of your business? Because now you got to think for your employees, you got to think for your wife, you got to think for your kids. You got to take all these into account. But if you're a self-willed individual and you're only thinking for self, you're going to go ahead and make a business deal that's not profitable. It may sound good, but it's not going to get you to where you need to be, because it's going to fail. And I got a precept real quick. This is the book of Proverbs 3, and I'm going to start at verses 13. It says, happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. Okay, because wisdom goes into your wits. Are you thinking these things out? Are you thinking for the long term and not the short term? Because most people, if you ask them 3 of their goals, they have short term goals. Well, I want to get money, I want to take care of my family, I want to do X, Y, and Z. They're not thinking about, okay, the kingdom, the business. How can we set ourselves up for a future endeavor, rulership? Okay, like when Isaac laid down with Rebekah, that was a heavy investment, man, because that forwarded the nation of Israel, man. You see what I'm saying? It just wasn't, oh, I want to get my dick wet, I want to go fuck and have some good sex. No,
it's about a legacy.
It's about a legacy, man.
You can see the after effects
right.
of what you're doing.
A vision.
You see, you getting with, like, that's how, and that's a beautiful comparison, because that's how most people think. Oh, I can see this big booty chick or a woman. She see a dude dressed fly, she gonna give him the box. But the mindset of the scriptures is to think about legacy, think about your culture. What is this woman gonna introduce? That's why Abraham foreseen that and didn't want Isaac to get with the Canaanite women, because he's like, that's going to damage everything. So that's wisdom, that's discernment and discretion when you move like that and make those type of decisions. And that's what the Bible deals with, you know. And the world has its own definition of discretion and so forth, but we got a different one.
Right, according to the scriptures, because you have to understand this too, man. Like we was getting on the topic of women. Most women, they think of short term. They don't think for the long term, because they can't see. They don't have the visual perception of long term like men do. Okay, we can foresee things, that this is why we could put down certain judgments and say, well, this is not good. X, Y, and Z is not good. You see what I'm saying? Because we can speak for the long term. The scriptures say that a prudent man foreseeth evil far off. So we understand that particular actions in the now could be a detriment for the future. You know, not just going off emotion, because you people in the world, you go off emotion. You see what I'm saying? You go off emotion and you make certain wise decisions, and that can fuck up everything, man. You know, like I always say that, like if you're involved in a marriage, it take a woman one decision to throw away a 20-year marriage, man, a 7-year marriage. One decision based on her fact that she wants to deal with the now. Well, this makes me feel good now. This makes me elevated now. This emotionally supports me now. Okay, but what about the long term? What about if that decision you're making, it could be innocent as day, but overall, how would that affect your husband? How would that affect your kids? How would that affect your future with building with the men that have a legacy and can foresee the future? You can't let the now get away or get in the way of the forever, man.
Yeah, that's why ultimately, when it comes to the men of the Lord, us dedicating ourselves to the truth is the ultimate form of wisdom, because this is going to yield the most benefits out of any example of making good choices. Right? Because you can make good choices when it comes to getting a job or picking your women or any of the other things of this earth, but the best thing is being involved with the wisdom of the scriptures.
That's right.
Because it's going to lead to an everlasting name.
God. Well, hey, peep this. This is Proverbs 4:1. It says, hear ye children, the instruction of a father, and attend to know understanding. Okay, so we was commanded to get wisdom and understanding on how the world works, man. Because the wisdom in this world is all fucked up. There's no structure in this world. There's no type of preeminence in this world but wickedness, man. They tell you to go out there, find a job, find a career, live as you please, but that's out of order. That's no discretion in that shit, man. Because that doesn't bring stability. That doesn't bring mental peace.
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't bring happiness.
Yeah.
It's a destructive mindset. That's a trail on the course of derailing, man. And that's the way that 95% of the people live their lives. Okay? Right. And it reads here, it says, "For I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not my law. For I was my father's son, tender, only beloved in the sight of my mother. But he taught me also and said unto me, let thy heart retain my words. Keep my commandments and live." Verse 5, "Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth," man.
Yeah, that's what's wrong with our people, is that they decline from the words of Yahweh Bashim Hawashai. Yeah. That's why our women are all out of order, doing videos in front of the abortion clinic talking about murder on my mind. Man. Blatantly saying they're okay with murdering Israelite babies, man.
And where's the YouTube strike on those channels?
They don't get strike.
But if we
stays up.
Yeah, but we do a video condemning that, then we gonna get shut down. We gonna get on a 3-week ban, and the list goes on. That shows you that the scripture, man, those are without wisdom in this world, they're in darkness, man. Okay?
That's right.
And it says here, "Forsake her not, and she should preserve thee, and love her, and she would keep thee. But wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding." So you have to understand that the prophets, man, that are sitting to you, we're not here to speak vain words to you. We're not telling you things that we haven't examined ourselves. We're not telling you things to make you do shit because we feel like it. No, there's a method to the madness of the Lord, man. Okay, because we are a nation. We're trying to put our people back in order so we can have a great foresight, man. You know, we're not just sitting here being combative or being compulsive to you people. No, we're telling you how to think and what you should be thinking, because you haven't been taught in the world.
Through the Spirit.
Yeah. So we're basically breaking down all the strongholds, man. Like the scriptures say, we will raise up, to build up, to plant, to pluck up. We're your teachers, man. We're giving you the instruction on how to think and how to go according to the mind of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man.
Yeah. It's more in this definition of discretion in that too.
Go ahead.
It says, the second one says moral discernment, the ability to distinguish right from wrong. And our people do not have that at all. When it comes to the woman, how she deals, because she's emotional. Well, she, in this society, and see, the right and wrong is also pundit on the society, because this Esau's world gives you wicked options. So like dealing with the woman, she has the option to step out. You know why? Because there's no judgment attached to it. She can do what's really wrong in the eyes of the Lord and what's really bad for her and step out and feel good about it in that moment. So that's why, you know, these laws and judgment has to rain down. Because when judgment rains down, that's going to get everybody discernment.
Right.
You know? That's why all of our people in the kingdom are going to be righteous. Because first and foremost, they're going to have the wisdom of the scriptures written in their heart. But these laws are going to be performed to where there would be no gray areas between right and wrong. Because that's the problem. See, the Spirit of the Lord comes direct and shows you what things are and what they're not. But with this world, there's so much confusion and gray areas. And, oh, I feel this way, therefore it's right. Or this is my personal paradigm. This is my personal, it's about me. I'm seeking what makes me happy. But that's going to be eliminated, because the guiding principle of life is supposed to be serving Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai.
Yep.
And that's why the scriptures go into how the whole duty of man is to serve the Most High.
I'm just thinking that.
And for you women out there, it's to serve your man, man.
God.
And if you're not in that spirit, you're a demon. So that's why our men are gonna get judged. These niggas that are rappers, like this nigga had just got an iced out fucking handcuffs, man. Nigga got iced out handcuffs with the chain link attached.
With gold and slavery, and man.
Got it like that means something. 40 years old. A fucking nigga. You're gonna be destroyed for that. Our women are stepping out and doing what they do and not regarding their man. You're gonna get judged.
Yeah, you put fucking gold on captivity, man. But I got a precept here, and we're gonna read that definition of discretion again, the moral part. But
Come.
it reads here. It says, "This is the book of Habakkuk 1:4." It says, "Therefore the law is slack, and judgment doth never go forth. For the wicked doth compass about the righteous. Therefore wrong judgment proceeded." Right? Because
Ooh.
I mean that's just straightforward. There's too many gray areas, man. The
Yeah.
law is black and white. Ain't no fucking gray areas,
That's
man.
right. And judgment also goes into decision making. Because when you think of judgment, you usually think in terms of, uh, someone in a position of authority placing a judgment down on someone. That's true, and that's the ultimate aspect, but it's also your daily decisions.
Right.
It's also what these men and what these women of our nation decide to do and what they call themselves and the actions they have. They have no judgment. And that scripture says the wrong judgment proceedeth. So they're out here calling people crazy that it ain't crazy. They calling people evil that aren't evil. They're calling us evil when we coming out the scriptures. Why? Because the wicked could pass about the righteous. These goddamn Edomites.
Yeah.
They have the power and authority, and
To
they're
call.
not placing judgment based upon what's right and what's wrong. They're placing judgment based upon whether you offend or come against his kingdom and his resources and the way he wants the people to think. That's the only thing that matters in the eyes of these devils.
Right.
Because really, like, his morals don't mean anything, because what Esau believes is right or wrong now, he could change the narrative in just 6 months from now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With the Yahweh Shem Yahushai, his wisdom stands true, and his judgments stand true, and they're sound throughout all ages.
It never changed. And like they getting on this nigga Ye now, Kanye West, and the brother said it beautifully in a group chat. He said every time MK Ultra comes off Kanye West, he starts speaking the same thing. Now, if you read the article that we sent, they talking about how he's being anti-S, right? But he mentioned and stated that the Jews were black people. So how the fuck is he anti-S?
He said, "I can't be anti-Sim
when Jews are black people.
When I'm black and the Jews are black."
But if you read in that article, it basically stated that he was gonna do DEFCON 3 on JEW.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they never mentioned the other part. You see how they spin it?
Yep,
But see
they
now they
spin the
coming at
narrative.
this guy and they have the power to change narratives, man. And that's the point we're making. The scriptures say, "Meddle not with them that's given a change." And also the Bible says that the Lord changes not. See, the problem with you people is you've gotten too comfortable in Esau's world. Okay? Because Esau's world deals totally off emotion and the flesh. It don't deal with the spirit of the Lord. That's why you people are able to make decisions if you're not happy with a particular decision or a law that's put down. Well, I think my man is being too aggressive. I think he's being too controlling. So therefore, I'm gonna find me another man that actually appeases my emotion and call him a good man instead of a man that was dealing with wisdom that could have saved your life, man. Because let's be real. You got a lot of women out there that's not. You have a lot of decent women out there that probably mean well, and they mean well for their families. But overall, the way you're moving in life, the decisions you're making will be a detriment because you're not looking for the long term. You're looking for, well, I need to provide for my family, how to provide for my kids. I got to do X, Y, and Z. But have you ever stopped and thought about what this man was saying and researched it and asked yourself, well, look, does this make sense? Is he really speaking from the words of the Most High, and is it going to benefit us? Because like I said, man, you people, you have no type of hope in anything outside of Esau, man. And that's where the confusion comes in at. And I want to get the scripture. This is the book of Ecclesiastes 12. And I'm going to start at verses, let's start at 9. It says, "And moreover, because the preacher was wise," okay, and the preacher is another way of saying prophet. It says, "he still taught the people knowledge," and we're still teaching you. We're still teaching you out of all your discretions, out of all your decision making, your impulsiveness, your invasiveness. And it says here, "Yea, he gave good heed and sought out and set in order many proverbs," which the word proverb goes into a saying, okay? And it says, "And a preacher sought to find out acceptable words, that which was written was upright, even words of truth." And we're speaking the truth of the Heavenly Father. We're telling you the law, statutes, and commandments. You may not like what we're saying. You may not like the spirit we're coming in, but it's to save you and to build you up, not to destroy you, okay? Because you people, what happened is you haven't learned how to mortify the deeds of your flesh, man. So if we say, well, no, you can't eat pork, you mad at us because it tastes so good, but are you thinking about health in the long term?
Mm-hmm.
No, you're just thinking about how good it tastes. You're not thinking about the detriment it may have on your health in the long run. And that's what we're teaching you people. And it reads here, "The words of the wise are as golds, and as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies, man. And if you think of an assembly or a master builder or architect, they've carefully considered before putting this building together, man. Like everybody, they're not mechanically inclined to build a car engine. So you have special spirits that are put in place to assemble this particular engine, man. Okay? Because it comes together and it's a collective. But it says, which are giving from one shepherd. And it says, and further by these, my son, be admonished of making many books. There's no end, and much study is a weariness to the flesh, which that goes into overly reading different things outside of the scriptures. But verse 13 is the point. It says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of men. Okay, the whole duty of men, keeping the commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. That is the duty of men. Okay, not your own fucking doing, man. Okay, the Lord gave us instructions, man. Fuck what this world teaches us. Yeah, this world can get us riches, it can get us glory, it can get us fame, but that's short-term thinking. Think for the long term, man. Think for the future. We have a glorious kingdom ahead. And you, Jakes, you don't want to thwart that, man. That's why Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is only going to deliver the elect, because we have a forwarded mindset. And you are not coming in that, man. You're coming in the now. Okay, we deal with the now. We understand it now. We understand we have bills. We understand we have of things we have to do. We get that. We deal with that. But overall, you have to put yourself in a perspective of what are you doing? What kind of issues can it bring to the forefront? If I make this decision, will my man leave me? Would I walk away from a man of the Lord because he told me he wanted me to dress a certain way? Yeah. Are you thinking about these things?
And are you risking your salvation to enter into the kingdom? Because for the men, serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and for the women, it's for serving your men. In a lot of these situations that's happening with a lot of people, and even certain people that deal with us, maybe be it as it may, co-workers, family members, our wives that are bugging out. Well, the Most High is separating them, because the prudent, the wise, that's a category of men, really, because not everyone has that level of prudence. Actually, those that's the elect, really, the ones that have the prudence, the wisdom, because the scriptures also tell you that the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High. God. So you can be wise in all kind of ways, dealing with women, or dressing, or a mechanic. All that shit. You got people that know intricate shit and how to build shit and do shit, but that's nothing. Because this society, it's not going to mean anything when the nukes touch down.
It's all vanity.
It's not going to matter how good somebody was feeling fucking October 2022 when in the future the nukes about to hit America, man. What you just did during this time period is going to come to in fruition, the fool. You know what I mean?
Well, shit, let's go on to verse 7. It says, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit should return unto the Most High who gave it. So ultimate purpose, everybody lives and dies at one point. We have all went to the spirit world. But verse 8, vanity of vanity, said the preacher, all is vanity. So it's vanity, man. Us getting up, going to work, us buying vehicles, us having certain credentials, having a CDL. All this shit is vanity, man. There's no importance behind it. We just need it for the now. But is that going to dictate or put our dictation on what we're building for the future? Think about it, man. Okay, you people have to learn how to compromise with the Heavenly Father. Okay, and that's just what it boils down to. Yeah, you may not like it, it may bother you, but overall, what are you really losing at the end of the day? Outside of your salvation, which is most important. But think about it, man. Think for the long term. Don't think about, oh, well, I got to get the bag now. This is going to solidify my career. It's going to put my kid through college. Your kid may not never go to college. You may spend 15 years on securing a bag, and your kid may drop out and become a prostitute. Then what you worked for? You see? But with the Heavenly Father, these words are certain, and the scriptures say, walk ye in this way, man, and it should not depart from you. The scriptures is the only thing that's going to be solid in the times we coming in, man. Everything else is a matter of opinion, vanity, and self-willness. And that's just what it boils down to, man. Right. Okay?
This is Proverbs 27:12. It says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. And that's what the Most High is doing right now. He's showing who's simple. Like these simple ass people, they don't see what's coming down the pipeline with the the situation with Russia. So, or let's just say, to name a few other examples, the economy, like the British pound was just at its 40-year low. It's at a 40-year low now. I don't know if it might have trended upwards since then, but about a week ago, it was at a 40-year low.
Yeah.
So because things are moving, it's all systems go towards the New World Order agenda. It's all systems go towards that. And these people in America, you'd have thought that it was fucking 1999, man.
Yeah.
You would have thought nothing was happening. But also at the same time, we're observing people are more uptight. They're more catering to the flesh. Because even though they don't know what's to come for themselves, they're feeling that pressure now. They're feeling it now. That's why these people are relying on the flesh, because they feel it.
It's
But
like
they
a
don't
get
know
out.
what's going on. Because they're like beasts.
And they're devoid of this wisdom. The Lord ain't imparting to their understanding. All right. This is the book of Proverbs 5, and I'm gonna start at verses 5 and 1. It says here, my son, attend unto my wisdom, and bow thine ear to my understanding. When you bow down to somebody, you're basically subjecting yourself to one. When you bow down, so basically you're subjecting yourself into getting this wisdom and understanding of the scriptures, man. Okay. But you people, you're subjecting yourselves to the wisdom of this world, which is no wisdom at all. Okay, because the wisdom of this world is going to perish once Esau goes down. But this is the point. It says that thou mayest regard discretion, that thy lips may keep knowledge, man. So even if a decision you make may not seem to be harmful or detriment, you got to think about the long-term effects. Because how is it affecting the individual that surrounds you? How is it affecting your life? How is it going to affect the mindset of a man that's after the heart of the Most High if you make a certain decision out of rashness, man? You're not thinking about that, because one decision is all it takes to destroy everything around you. And it may be a lot of innocence behind it. It may not be anything that may come of it, but overall, it's still a discretionary tactic, because you have to understand certain decisions you make sets up other decisions that can put you in the predicament. Okay, like if I tell my woman, well, look, baby, I don't want you wearing short shorts, because eventually you're going to go out there, men are going to hit on you, okay, and that's going to open up a whole different mindset in you. It's going to create a prideful mindset and a promiscuous mindset in you. It's not me being controlling or insecure, because honestly speaking, when a woman does that, she's creating the insecurity. And what we're trying to do, like you said earlier, is secure the ship from sinking. So I have to stop that in its tracks and say, well, no, this is not wise, because now you're opening yourself to all these different tactics, okay? And eventually you're going to fall by them. You can't just say, well, I'm going to go out here and dress a certain way and not be labeled a whore, or I ain't going to never label a man. You don't have control over that. You don't have control over that, because you're left into yourself,
These people, the scriptures tell you that the heart is deceitful above all things.
Right.
And that's ultimately the foundation of the people that's not in the spirit. That's what they're relying upon. Yep. And that heart's about to get them in a messed up situation. And it says here, Isaiah 28 and 26, it says, for his God doth instruct him to discretion and doth teach him. So that is basically where the source of wisdom is the Most High. You have to be taught that from on high. And that's what ultimately reforms you into the vessel Yahweh Bashim Shai wants you to be. That's why us as brothers, we're going through what we're going through right now. And our situations ain't personal. You know what I'm saying? Our hell that we catch it, because why? It's forming us into to have more depth in wisdom, more instruction. Because these people that are now bugging out and doing what they're doing in the world is for a reason. Most High is gathering those unto him that are his and casting the other ones out, man.
Right. Well, precept, this is the book of Jeremiah 17 and 9. It says the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked, okay? Which that word mind goes into law, the Hebrew.
Yeah.
Okay, your mind, like you remember that song by what was it? Was it Scarface, I think? It's called My Mind Is Playing Tricks on Me.
Yeah, God.
Mind is a motherfucker, man.
Ghetto Boys.
The Ghetto Boys, con. That mind is a motherfucker, man. Your mind can tell you one thing and totally be in conjunct or be in what's the word I'm looking for? In disagreements with your spirit, because your spirit dwells in your mind. But if you got a demon plaguing you, your spirit can be telling you subconsciously, no, this ain't the way to go. But your mind, and on other aspects, saying, well, y'all need to do this, when you know it's not wise. And it says, desperately wicked, who can know it? Okay. Verse 10, it says, I, the Lord, search the heart, I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. As the partridge sit on eggs, and it hatches them not, so he that getteth riches and not by right shall leave them in the midst of his days, and at his end shall be a fool.
Mm.
So come on, man. You people are not in the right spirit here.
That's right.
You laboring your whole life to obtain a corruptible crown. No, man. The scriptures say seek your daily bread. Fuck all that trying to live like Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson. Fuck that shit. Them niggas got their consolation. Do what you can do, get what you gotta get, and live right by the Most High is our message, man. Fuck the now. Fuck the flesh, man. Fuck that bullshit, man. Because it's gonna end with you being destroyed, man. Okay?
Yeah, and also another one, because it's that discretion word is powerful in the etymology, because they got like a whole paragraph for this.
This garment is hot as hell.
Yeah, kind of. You got to roll up the little joints man, to the side. It says prudence, sagacity regarding one's conduct, and that's talking about yourself. Because ultimately, that's what wisdom starts with, is getting yourself in order, getting your conduct right. Because to hell with the people that are outside of yourself that ain't doing right, the Most High gonna take their ass out. Or he got something special for them. And the word for sagacity goes back to sagacious, which means having or showing keen mental discernment and good judgment. Shrewd, you see? So good judgment, discerning, and the scriptures tell you that. The scriptures are our foundation, and when you grow in wisdom, you build upon that. You become a more mature, composed individual through experience. You know what I'm saying? That's why the apostles and elders in Great Millstone have their position, because of the experience they have in wisdom. They got this truth from a very young age and been in this truth growing. And don't you think they have to deal with personal situations? Being fired from jobs, or a hard day at a job, or a fucking woman that don't want to get right, or a woman that left them. You know what I'm saying? You got, even the apostles, certain apostles had to deal with that. They women going rogue on them, man. You know what I'm saying?
Homeless, man.
Being homeless.
Yeah.
But then through all those situations we go through, all of us in general, we are learning the right decisions to make throughout all that, to make us better vessels for the spirit, man, for Yahweh Shem Shai. That's ultimately why everything that happens to us, as long as we maintain that sincerity towards wanting that for ourselves, because you got to want that for yourself. You got to want to be a man of the Lord. You got to want the Lord to deal with you. And he will, because the scriptures tell you he asked the Lord he giveth men wisdom liberally. He will give you that wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I'll get that too, because that's good on the topic.
Kind of while I bring this out real quick. I'm gonna think if I brought this out already. Did I bring out this Proverbs 3 and 13 already? I don't think so.
Which one was it? What is that?
It says here, happy is the man that findeth wisdom and the man that getteth understanding. I don't think I brought that out, did I? No. Well, this is the book of Proverbs 3 and 13, and if I did, the Spirit is bringing it back out.
Spirit.
It says, happy is the man that findeth wisdom and the man that getteth understanding. Okay. It says, for the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold.
And you know what makes that so crucial for brothers, especially when you go through shit, man? When you go through a very fucked up time period in this truth, it says, happy is the man that has wisdom, because you are happy the Most High is still dealing with you, no matter what is going on with you. You may be fucked up by a certain situation, but you know that you're putting your best foot forward towards serving Yahweh Shem Shai. So you happy you got that wisdom, man. Even though we experiencing the hell, that happiness comes from like, okay, I see the bigger picture. Because this ain't the end all be all of my story, man.
And the Spirit give you the discretion to navigate through the bullshit, because you know when you have wisdom, you ain't just gonna go off on a tirade and start shooting up schools and shit.
Right, yeah. And sometimes you'll feel like that. Just being around these wicked people,
yeah.
They make you feel like you want to do something to them. But the thing is, we're chastising ourselves.
Yeah.
The Most High is chastising us, and we're basically like, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically learning to maintain straightness, like keeping a stiffness about a stern and stoic, you know?
Because the angel was keep you from going over the cliff, man. But versus a person without discretion, they gonna go ahead. And I'm not saying that brothers have always operated in the best wisdom. No, because it's a trial by error. We all live and we grow. Like I've done things that wasn't circumspect and went off my emotions or my flesh and made stupid decisions. But the Lord have ultimately shielded me and protected me and had mercy in that folly, man. But once you learn from that, you don't make the same mistake twice or three times.
Uh,
You may make it twice, but you don't make it a third time, because sometimes the Lord will just make you go. It's kind of almost like an angel stopping you from going off the cliff versus you a nigga like Dylan Roof, you go shoot up a damn church. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden you become a national suspect. The Lord ain't gonna have us going out like that, man. You know,
yep,
it's
yep.
bigger than that.
It's a beautiful precept too, because
Right.
this goes into that relationship between wisdom and discretion and the hell that we catch, right? It says, just James 1 and 2, it says, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience.
Right, and that word diverse goes into different, man. Diversity, man, it means different. Nothing is never the same. You may be going through one thing on one field, you may be dealing with several other issues in the spirit. You know what I'm saying? But hey, that's a blessing, because hey, you're learning those lessons, man. It may don't seem like it at the time, because let's be honest with you, brothers and sisters out there. Who in the hell wants to suffer 24/7, 365 days a year?
Right.
I definitely don't want to go through it. But see, the Lord is putting us through that because we have to understand both sides of the coin, the spectrum, so to speak. All right, go ahead.
It says, but let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing.
Right,
See?
patience is perfection, man. Okay, and like it tells you in the book of Ecclesiastes, it say through much sorrow, through much suffering, the heart is made better, man. Okay, and that comes with patience, because when you're sitting back and you're able to marinate on the pain and the particular lessons, you're able to come up and rationalize in your mindset to understand why this is, instead of playing that victim shit. Why me? Why me? Why me? Like the brother sent the video earlier about this chick. She's a young woman on her third baby, and she asked the Lord, like, why am I having all this hell coming to me? Well, because you adopted the WAP culture, you adopted the Megan Thee Stallion, you listen to Cardi B. That's the reason of your judgment.
Snappy towards her man.
Yeah, exactly. And she said that,
picking the wrong niggas in general.
Yeah, and she said she want to cut herself from off everybody, but see, what she fucked up at is when she asked, why me? So basically, in her mindset, she's being a victim. She's not looking at the idioms of her behavior.
How can I grow from this? What can I learn? How can I change and make adjustments so I can make better decisions? You just want to keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. And
right?
Like the apostles always go into, that's the definition of insanity. You're a fucking insane person, man.
Right.
It takes growth and change, like Bruce Lee always said, be like water. Sometimes water is raging, other times it's calm.
Yep.
Water, it's funny too, because a whole entire, let's just say, 50 gallons of water has to go through a certain pipe. It has to fit itself into that structure to go through it, and it can. And that's how wisdom's supposed to operate in you throughout the situations you go through, being able to maneuver through that. You know what I'm saying?
Pressurized, man.
Yep.
You know?
I'm going to read this in the NLT version because it's good as well. This James 1 and 3 says, for you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow, for when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing.
Just like, okay, think about a treadmill, man. Like when you first get on the treadmill and you may be morbidly obese, you hop on the treadmill, you ain't gonna be able to run for 2 years. You get winded, but the more you built up that lung power for putting yourself through those afflictions, you're gonna be able to coach through it eventually. Like, oh shit, I've grown. And that's the same thing with this truth. Most problems people have is because they don't want to immerse themselves in that rigorous training, man. Okay? And with that being said, that comes with a mindset of knowing, like, okay, if I want to get better, I got to put myself through the ringer and basically break myself down. It's basically building muscle, man. Breaking down the structure of the muscle so it can grow back bigger, so you can have the endurance to deal with whatever you got to deal with. Because oftentimes, brothers and sisters out there, we repeat the same lessons over and over again because we haven't learned from it yet, or we haven't took all the essential lessons that we need from that particular lesson, in order to grow and overcome it. So the Lord will put you through this revolving door constantly. Going back to the example of when we was in the wilderness 40 years, the reason why the Lord kept us in that time loop is because Jake kept rebelling, man. They didn't learn from the time when we got out of Egypt in the course of their sins. They kept committing grievous acts, okay? And it's the same way in our daily lives. If you're constantly repeating the same lesson, it's because you're missing something and the Lord wants you to get it. And if you don't get it, then the Lord is gonna say, you know what, get him out of here, kill him. He ain't learning.
Right. And this is going into the relationship between that suffering and wisdom, because when you suffer and your patience is being tried and your endurance is growing, that's when you ask for wisdom, and that's where wisdom grows in you, because you're asking for it. Like when you're going through stuff, you're seeking answers. You're seeking answers on what to do and what not to do. So that's when you go to the Most High, Lord, give me wisdom. What should I do? And He'll give it to you.
Right.
It says, verse 6, it says, verse 5, it says, if you need wisdom, ask our generous power, and He will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking. See? So when you want wisdom and you're going through a situation, being a man of the Lord, being a servant the Lord is dealing with, you ask Him, because you got to have that connection with your power. Most of our people walk around with their decision making. How much of what they're doing are they going before the throne to ask the Lord of what should I do? And praying at night, or praying in the morning, praying in the evening.
Right.
They just do what they do. They're fleshly. They're intemperate. You know what I'm saying? They're reactive.
Yeah.
Instead of being proactive.
Thinking about it, man. And sometimes it may take 3-4 days to come up with the sound decision. You know, and what you will learn too, brothers out there, man, and you few sisters that may watch, is that everything doesn't require a response. Sometimes you got to sit back and peep the spirit that people are coming in before you act. Because sometimes you can shut yourselves out of a particular situation if you just go off how you feel at the moment. Because you're expecting the person to be a certain way when they wasn't. And sometimes you got to take the low and apologize for shit, you know? Hey, the person may be a demon, or may be being wicked, or may just be a wicked person. But then again, hey, you can be out of character too for how you respond.
Right.
You know?
It's best to just let these people have it. Because then the scriptures go into that. Because when you do that, when you remain humble, you're not lashing out, oh, you bitch ass nigga, I'll beat your ass, or going raging on a woman. If you like, all right, cool. All right, you want to do that? All right, cool. When you do that, that gives them no ammo. Because when the moment you lash out or do something, then they're gonna bring that up. Oh, you always curse me out. You do this. You hey, all right, cool. You make that decision, cool. All right, move on with your life.
And I'm guilty of that. You know what I'm saying? Out of compassion and love and, you know, just hurt and bitterness and shit. I've lashed out at, you know, with people I was close at, man, you know, because out of defense on trying to convince them that, well, look, this is what it is. I'm not trying to be wrong toward you, but this is how I feel. And sometimes you got to show a motherfucker you love them by not fucking with them, man.
Yeah, and that's what happens, just being men, you know? Sometimes these people, they got to come to them.
Yeah. Well, shit, you got any more precepts, bro?
No, I don't got it.
I got one more, man, and we can cut it down. This is the book of Proverbs 15:1. It says, a soft answer turneth away wrath, okay? But grievous words stir up anger. So fighting fire with fire. Sometimes you got to let people have it. And I know, bro, when people are wronging you and doing wickedness to you, you want to go off, man. Because a lot of times people come at you with just unjust, man. Like I'm dealing with these knucklehead black women in my job. You don't know if they want to fuck on you or hate you. It's a bunch of mixed emotions with them. And you got to put yourself in the mindset, do I just curse these bitches out and say fuck them? Or do I just like, you know what? Yeah, all right, give subtlety to the simple. It comes a time and place when you know when to strike, man. Now, if they get too over the line, then of course you're going to have to say what you got to say. But if ain't nothing that's going to put a detriment in your walk and it just fucking with your pride, then sometimes you got to be like, look, fuck these people, man. Let them have it. Because they don't know what's getting ready to come to them any goddamn way. Because if anything, if they were wise, they would seek men like us for understanding and ask us what's going to happen and what's the keys to getting around the bullshit. And that's going to be the big shocker for the world when men like this brother and myself, Lord's where we're chosen, when we're the face of the nation, along with other brothers and elders, when we're the ones that's making the decisions, then people are going to start to realize, well, damn, these guys wasn't out their mind any fucking way. They were actually righteous men, Lord's will. And it says, in the tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright, but the mouth of the fools poured out foolishness, man. And hey, we all guilty of pouring out folly, man. Not thinking before we speak, saying certain shit out of character or out of season, man. Okay, it may be a wise saying, but you have those times that you speak when it's in season. Sometimes your woman may or your brother may be acting like a total demon, but it may not be in season to call them out because they may just be going through their hell. Not giving them a pass, but you have to understand everything into perspective and put it into a perspective, man. You know?
That's That's right.
So, but other than that, man, you know, that was just through the spirit. You got something else, brother? You
No, I
want to
don't
say
got nothing
anything
else,
else?
bro. I don't got nothing else. Just stay. The spirit is growing and dealing with brothers. More brothers is getting raised up on different levels in wisdom, and it all happens through our sufferings.
Yep.
And that's the bigger picture. Like for you brothers that struggling and going through things, man, hey, ask the Most High for that wisdom. So then in the future you can get through it. You know what I'm saying? Because we getting tried on all levels. The trials ain't over. The trials is just beginning. You know what I'm saying? The trials is just beginning. So we gotta keep moving forward in wisdom in our decision making, and keep putting our best foot forward in Yahweh Shemel Shai.
That's right.
You know.
Con. Well, shit, man. Close us out, brother.
We're gonna close out giving all praise to
Yahweh,
Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that have taught us the truth, and much love to all you brothers out there that are pushing the word of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Shalom.
Shalom.